My name is Greta Schmidt, 29 years old, and right now I'm staring out my tiny downtown Des Moines loft at the luxury condos I'll never afford. The joke. For 2 solid years, I've been the family wallet paying their meds, their rent, their endless splurges while they trash me for having nothing. Thrift store outfits, 10-year-old Civic shoebox apartment, they laugh about it in the group chat like I'm the punchline. But tonight, something snapped. I've made a decision that will flip their world upside down, and I can't wait to watch the fallout when the money stops. They have no idea the storm coming their way. Before I spill every shocking detail, drop the city you're watching from in the comments. If your family ever made you feel worthless, smash that like button if you're ready for the real tea. Subscribe right now, I've got more raw stories dropping soon. Now let's rewind 4 months to when the nightmare really began. Let's rewind 4 months to when everything still felt normal. My mom, Ingrid Schmidt, and my dad, Hans Schmidt, both retired early thanks to solid pensions from the old factory jobs they held for decades here in Iowa. They live in a 4-bedroom house on the outskirts of Des Moines, the kind with a big garage and a backyard grill that gets used every weekend in summer. Then there's my older sister, Heidi Schmidt, who's been trying to make it as a fashion influencer for years now. Her feed looks polished with sponsored posts and outfit reels, but the reality is, her income barely covers her phone bill most months. My younger brother Klaus Schmidt works as a barista at a local coffee chain. While chasing his dream of producing EDM tracks, he spends more time in his bedroom studio than behind the counter. And my cousin Lena Bauer, 22, is in her senior year at the University of Iowa, paying her own way with scholarships and weekend shifts at a campus bookstore. She crashes at my loft whenever she needs a break from dorm life. I'm the remote data analyst pulling in $85,000 a year from a big insurance firm downtown, working from my cramped setup with dual monitors and endless spreadsheets. It started small 2 years back, just covering the occasional gap when mom's blood pressure meds hit $400 a month after insurance, or dad's diabetes supplies ran $300. I told myself it was temporary, a way to keep them comfortable without dipping into their savings too much. Soon, those payments became routine, wired on the first like clockwork, and I adjusted my budget around them, skipping dinners out, driving my old Civic until the check engine light became a permanent fixture. Heidi was the first to push boundaries. She called one afternoon excited about a networking trip to Chicago for a brand collab, but the flights and hotel added up fast. "It's an investment in my future," she insisted over the phone, her voice bubbly as always. I transferred 1,500 without much thought, figuring one big boost could change things for her. Days later, her stories lit up rooftop bars, designer pop-ups, captions screaming self-care earned with champagne flutes and city skylines. She tagged the brands but never mentioned where the cash really came from. I scrolled through at my desk, stomach tightening a bit, but brushed it off as family helping family. Klaus jumped in next with requests for new software plugins or studio gear, always framed as essentials for my breakthrough. 300 here, 500 there, he'd send Venmo notes with guitar emojis and promises to pay back once a track blew up. Dad stayed quiet on the calls, just grunting approval in the background, while Mom layered on the guilt with stories of how tight things got after unexpected deductibles. "We raised you to look out for each other," she'd say softly, and I'd hit send before the call ended. Lena noticed the pattern first during one of her visits. We were splitting takeout pizza on my couch when my phone buzzed with another transfer confirmation. She glanced at the screen and shook her head. "They're spending like crazy, Greta. That Chicago trip, Heidi posted the hotel receipt slip way over what you sent. You sure this is sustainable?" I laughed it off, explaining how pensions fluctuate and how influencers need upfront costs. But her words lingered as she packed her bag that night, promising to swing by more often. The obligations piled up quietly. One month it was 200 for Klaus's car insurance lapse. Another it was 450 for Mom's new prescription tier. I tracked everything in a private spreadsheet, watching my emergency fund shrink from 5 figures to under 2,000. At work, I crunched numbers for strangers' policies all day, then logged off to handle my own family's finances. Heidi kept posting haul videos with bags from boutiques I'd never step into. Klaus uploaded snippets of beats, mixed on equipment I indirectly funded. Dad sent occasional texts about grill upgrades or golf outings, casual mentions that somehow circled back to needing a little extra. Lena dropped by again mid-month with coffee and concern. I overheard Aunt Ingrid bragging about a new patio set at the family barbecue last weekend. Said it was on sale, but the tag was still visible in her photo, $800. Greta, they're not struggling. They're just used to you covering the extras. I stared at my laptop, the cursor blinking on yet another transfer screen. For the first time, doubt crept in strong, but loyalty won out. I hit confirm and closed the app. One Thursday evening, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Mom's ringtone cut through the quiet of my loft as I wrapped up a late report, her voice already tense before I even said hello. Greta, we need $2,200 for the rent this month. Just this once, the pension check came in short. She explained how an unexpected bill threw everything off, and Dad needed the buffer to avoid late fees. I pulled up my banking app right there on the couch, heart sinking at the numbers. I had already sent $700 earlier that week for their latest prescription refill, leaving my emergency fund at a shaky $500. Rent for my own place was due in days, but the guilt hit hard, images of eviction notices flashing in my mind. Okay, Mom, I'll transfer it now. I muttered, fingers moving faster than my thoughts. The confirmation pinged, and she thanked me with that relieved sigh I knew too well. Lena Bauer happened to be over that night, crashing after a long study session at the library. She glanced at my screen as I set the phone down, eyebrows raised but saying nothing until the call ended. We ordered cheap Thai delivery to unwind, chatting about her upcoming exams while I tried to shake off the unease. Hours later, as we scrolled mindlessly on the couch, a notification pulled me into the family group chat. Heidi Schmidt had posted a selfie from her ring light setup, captioning it about leveling up my content game. The messages rolled in fast below it. Heidi typed first, Greta, still driving that 10-year-old trash car, haha goals. Right. A string of laughing emojis followed, and Klaus Schmidt jumped in quick. She dresses like a college kid on a budget, probably saving every penny to keep our rent paid, lol. More reactions poured from distant relatives, hearts and thumbs up piling on. I froze, the screen glowing in the dim light, every word landing like a slap. Lena leaned over, reading silently at first, then whispered, "See what I mean? They're shaming you out in the open like this." Her voice carried edge, but she kept it low, not wanting to push too hard. I scrolled back up, rereading the thread, my hands starting to tremble against the phone case. Heidi added another message. "Love my sis, but girl needs a glow up, all that saving and still in thrift vibes." Klaus chimed with a voice note, his laugh crackling through priorities. "Am I right? We got the house. She got the old ride." The chat kept buzzing with agreements, Mom even dropping a neutral emoji that felt like silent endorsement. Lena grabbed my wrist gently. "Greta, this isn't funny to them, it's mean. You just bailed them out again, and they turn around with this." I nodded numbly, thumbs hovering over the keyboard, but no words came. Typing anything felt pointless. Defending myself would just fuel more jokes. The delivery arrived then, steam rising from the containers as we unpacked in silence. Lena broke it first, passing me a fork. "You don't owe them an explanation for living within your means. That money you sent, it's not invisible to them. They know exactly where it goes." I picked at the noodles, appetite gone, replaying Mom's plea from earlier against the chat's cruelty. Dad hadn't typed anything, but his profile picture sat at the top. "Read receipts on." Lena continued softly between bites. "I've seen Aunt Ingrid's stories. She's out shopping while complaining about bills. This pattern won't stop unless you draw a line." We talked late into the night, her pointing out how the requests escalated without gratitude, me admitting how each transfer chipped away at my own goals, like finally upgrading my laptop for work or setting aside for a real vacation. Lena shared stories from campus friends in similar binds, how setting boundaries early saved relationships or ended toxic ones. Don't stay quiet forever, she urged, as she gathered her things to head back to the dorm. You deserve respect, not this backhanded nonsense. I walked her to the door, the group chat still open on my phone, notifications muted, but the damage done. Sleep came fitfully that night, the words echoing louder than any alarm. The following weekend, I dragged Lena along for an unannounced drop by at the house. We pulled up in my Civic, the engine rumbling louder than usual after ignoring that persistent light for weeks, and the garage door stood half open like an invitation. There it sat, a shiny Tesla Model 3 white with temporary plates still attached. Dad Hans Schmidt emerged, wiping his hands on a rag, spotting us and waving casually. Just leasing for a few months, testing the electric life, he said with a shrug, as if luxury cars appeared out of thin air. I forced a smile, running my fingers over the sleek hood, while questions swirled in my head about monthly payments that could swallow half my old transfers. Mom, Ingrid Schmidt, bustled out next, arms full of shopping bags from the passenger seat. One slipped, revealing a crumpled Target receipt, peeking out $500 for what looked like home decor and clothes. She stuffed it back, quick, mumbling about essentials for the kitchen remodel they mentioned offhand last month. Nothing fancy, Greta, just keeping the place nice, she added, steering us inside before I could press. The living room smelled of fresh paint, new throw pillows scattered on the couch that definitely weren't there before. Klaus bounded down the stairs in his usual hoodie, phone in hand, grinning wide. Check this out, VIP passes for the big EDM festival downtown next month, 1,800 total. He flashed the digital tickets, complete with meet and greet access to his favorite producer. Some fans hooked me up through the scene, he claimed, but his eyes darted away too fast. Lena raised an eyebrow beside me, staying quiet as he raved about the lineup and how it would inspire his next drop. I nodded along, calculating in silence how that sum matched several of my recent wires, labeled for studio upgrades. Heidi Schmidt swept in from the kitchen, smoothie in one hand, ring light clipped to her phone in the other. Perfect timing. I'm prepping content for the concert weekend, she announced, propping the device on the counter to film a quick transition reel. Her story went live. Minutes later, mirror selfies in a new outfit, makeup glowing under filters, caption reading, "Living my best life," with sparkles and location tags for high-end prep spots. The post racked up likes, fast, brands commenting, fire emojis, none aware of the funding trail leading back to my account. We lingered for coffee, the conversation drifting to casual updates, while Lena excused herself to the bathroom, really sneaking photos with her phone. She captured the Tesla from the driveway angle, zoomed on the lease sticker showing 600 monthly, then the discarded receipt from Mom's bag when it hit the trash. Back in the car, she handed me the images. "Evidence, Greta, keep these safe." I stared at the screen, the pieces clicking sharper than before. The car wasn't a trial. The shopping wasn't basic. The tickets weren't gifted. Driving home, the highway blurred as doubt turned to frustration. Lena broke the silence first. "They're not broke. They're lazy, expecting you to bankroll the upgrades while mocking your choices." She pointed out how Dad's test drive excuse ignored the commitment, how Mom's hidden receipt contradicted her pleas. Klaus's festival hype screamed entitlement, and Heidi's stories painted a lifestyle funded by guilt trips. I gripped the wheel tighter, replaying the garage scene, the casual lies stacking up. At a red light, Lena scrolled through Heidi's feed on her own phone, noting sponsored tags that paid pennies compared to the splurges. "This isn't sustainable for you," she said, firmly pocketing the device. We stopped for gas, my card declining the pump at first, low balance reminder from the rent hit. Lena covered it without hesitation, waving off my protest. "See, your money's gone before it even helps you?" The realization settled heavy as we merged back onto the road, the Tesla's image burned in my mind. Back at the loft, we spread the photos on the table alongside my transaction history printouts. Patterns emerged, clear transfers timed right before big purchases, excuses overlapping with visible luxuries. Lena traced a finger over the concert ticket barcode. They think you won't notice or won't care. I saved everything to a secure folder, the weight of confrontation building, but not yet ready to erupt. 2 days later, Lena texted me at midnight. The message lit up my screen while I tossed in bed, unable to shake the images from the visit. She had been out with mutual friends from high school, grabbing late-night tacos after a study group, when one slipped about a private family chat excluding me. They talk freely there, the friend hinted, thinking Lena already knew. Curiosity spiked, and she created a burner account on the spot, requesting to join under a fake cousin profile. Approval came quick from Heidi, pulling her into the hidden thread. Screenshots flooded my inbox minutes after. The chat name read, Schmidt Inner Circle, pinned messages dating back months. Heidi started a recent chain, keep Greta paying, she has nothing else to spend on anyway. Klaus replied instantly with a thumbs up, adding, yeah, play the pension short card every time, works like magic. Mom chimed in with a simple, agreed, followed by Dad's rare input. She won't notice if we space it out. The thread scrolled with coordination timing requests around my paydays, celebrating successful transfers with shopping links. Lena's voice notes accompanied the images, her tone urgent but controlled. This is the final proof, Greta, you have to confront them now. She highlighted one exchange where Heidi planned the concert outfits using my rent money, Klaus joking about upgrading his laptop next. Another string detailed the Tesla lease approval, Mom advising to hide the paperwork during visits. Lena captured every detail, zooming on timestamps that matched my bank alerts perfectly. I sat up in the dark, enlarging each capture, the betrayal sinking deeper with every line. Heidi posted a poll. Next excuse for Greta, medical or home repair. Votes leaned toward repair. Klaus commenting, medical hits her guilt harder, stick with that. The casual strategy felt calculated, turning my support into a game they played behind my back. Lena called then, her breathing steady despite the hour. I'm on your side here. Don't fear losing the family. They're the ones losing you. We dissected the evidence over the call, her walking me through how the friend let slip after a few drinks, unaware of the divide. Lena explained creating the fake profile with an old photo, joining without raising flags, since distant relatives popped in occasionally. They never suspected, she said, forwarding more as the chat updated live, Heidi sharing a luxury wish list tagging items totaling thousands. I saved it all to a cloud folder, organizing by date, the pattern undeniable. Lena pushed gently during lulls in the conversation. You've seen the car, the tickets, now this, they're orchestrating everything. She reminded me of past warnings ignored, how each transfer enabled more secrecy. The call stretched long, her voice a anchor as anger mixed with clarity. Facing them means protecting yourself, she insisted, promising to back any move I made. Hanging up, the screenshots glowed on my laptop, a digital trail of deception. Lena followed with a final text. Sleep if you can, but plan your words, they won't expect this. I reviewed the files again, noting how Mom's messages aligned with her pleas. Dad's silence in the main chat contrasting his active role here. The inner circle revealed priorities sharp and cold, my role reduced to funding without input. By dawn, resolve hardened. Lena's discovery stripped away remaining doubt, replacing it with purpose. The secret chat became the key, undeniable proof, ready for the right moment. Sunday that week, they summoned me to the house. Lena came along. We pulled into the driveway under a gray Iowa sky, the air thick with late spring humidity that made the porch light flicker. Inside, the living room felt staged for judgment, blinds half-drawn, coffee table wiped clean, except for one manila folder Mom gripped like evidence in a trial. Dad sat rigid in his recliner, remote untouched on the armrest. Heidi paced near the window, phone in hand, while Klaus sprawled across the ottoman, earbuds dangling like he'd just paused a beat. Heidi launched first, no greeting, no small talk. We need 4,500 for mom's back pain meds, specialist compound, no generic substitute allowed. She planted herself in front of me, arms crossed, manicured nails tapping impatience. You're the only one with a real paycheck. 4,500 is pocket change to you. Her tone carried the same entitlement she used in sponsored reels, as if money grew on my spreadsheets. Klaus chuckled low, kicking his feet up. That shoebox apartment, the Civic that sounds like a lawnmower. Where do you hide all that cash, huh? He waved lazily toward the window, gesturing at my car like it was a museum relic. Mom's eyes welled instantly, voice trembling. If my own daughter turns her back now, who's left to help me? She pressed the folder to her chest, knuckles white. Dad remained silent, jaw tight, letting the emotional weight pile on without a word. I pulled out my phone, thumb gliding to the locked album. Lena stood just inside the doorway, arms folded, her quiet presence grounding me like an anchor in rising tide. Before a single dollar moves, I said, voice calm but amplified, hear this. I started with the main group chat, reading every shaming line aloud, my thrift store jacket, my college kid sneakers, the joke about me hoarding to fund their lifestyle. Heidi's foot stopped mid-tap. Klaus pulled an earbud out, smirk dissolving. Then came the photos. I swiped slowly, Tesla Model 3 gleaming under garage lights, lease sticker screaming 600 monthly. Target receipt with $500 decor circled in red. Klaus's VIP concert passes 1800 glowing in neon. The room temperature seemed to drop. I connected to the TV via AirPlay. Images exploded across the 65-inch screen, timestamps bold and brutal. Lena moved closer. You've used her money to live large, then mocked her for sacrificing. I opened the secret chat next. Keep Greta paying, she has nothing else to spend on. I quoted Heidi verbatim. Klaus's follow-up pension short card, every time gold. Mom's single-word reply, agreed. Dad's rare input space requests around her paydays. Each slide lingered emojis of celebration after my transfers, shopping links, a poll on best guilt trip. The wall became a courtroom exhibit. Silence slammed down like a gavel. Dad's face burned, crimson veins pulsing at his temple. Mom stammered, "It's out of context." But her voice cracked against the evidence. Heidi lunged for the remote. Those were jokes, private ones. The scroll continued mercilessly. Klaus stared at the carpet, muttering, "This is a violation." I kept reading, coordinated lies, wish list totals in the thousands, every plea exposed as script. Lena's voice cut sharp. "This isn't support, it's exploitation." She jabbed a finger at the Tesla slide. "That lease alone devours what you cry poor over." Mom fumbled for tissues, sobs mixing with excuses about real medical needs. Dad growled, "We're in this together," but his eyes stayed glued to the floor, unable to face the screen. The air thickened with defeat, no one daring to meet my gaze. I let Heidi's final poll hang, vote split on medical versus repair, before locking the phone. The room held its breath. Lena stood firm beside me, her support slicing through the tension like sunlight through fog. I stood up, grabbing my keys. Lena squeezed my hand tight. "Starting Monday, I'm done," I said, voice unshaken despite the earthquake inside. "Sell the Tesla, return the tickets, figure it out yourselves." Mom's sobs exploded, the folder slipping to the floor, medical papers scattering like failed alibis. Dad surged forward, still red-faced. "You walk out. You destroy this family. Blood doesn't quit." Heidi shot up, finger jabbing the air. "You'll regret it when you're alone and broke, no one left to save you." I moved for the door, Lena at my side, her grip steady. Outside, the humid air hit like freedom. In the car, I blocked every contact Mom, Dad, Heidi, Klaus deleted. Both group chats cleared, voicemail, marked emails as spam. Lena drove us back to the loft, helping pack an overnight bag in case they showed up raging. "They won't reform in a day," she said, sealing the box with tape. We enabled Do Not Disturb, the silence golden unbroken. 3 months later, reality struck hard. Rent went unpaid for 3 straight cycles. Foreclosure papers arrived via certified mail, the bank seizing the 4 bedroom. They downsized to a 1 bedroom walk up near the rail yard, the Tesla repossessed within weeks. Grill hawked at a weekend yard sale for 200. Heidi's biggest sponsor, a rising activewear brand, axed her contract after anonymous ex posts exposed the secret chat. The thread blew up in Des Moines influencer groups' tagged accounts' viral replies. Her grid froze. Followers bled out. Income shrank to sporadic affiliate clicks. Klaus doubled down on survival barista shifts from 5 to noon, then night security at a cold storage warehouse till 4. His laptop gathered dust EDM software, unopened dreams on indefinite hold. Mom's back pain lingered, but clinic generics and heating pads replaced specialist compounds. Dad took side gigs repairing neighbors' washers, swallowing pride with every $20 bill. Please bounced burner numbers, fake emails, even a handwritten letter slid under my door. I trashed it unread. Lena cut ties too after Heidi left a screaming voicemail blaming her for ruining everything. We kept our ritual Thursday coffees at the old downtown spot corner booth by the window. My emergency fund climbed past 4 figures again. Her graduation gown hung in my closet waiting. Freedom beats guilt every time she toasted one sunny afternoon clinking ceramic mugs. Real family doesn't shame you into giving. A true cousin shows you the truth, no strings, no cost. Thank you for staying with this story to the end. I truly value every listener who made it here. Drop your experience below. Have you ever cut toxic ties to reclaim your peace? Share in the comments and let's keep talking.